Welcome to the Quiet Knowing Within. I am your host, Gnosis. Please like, subscribe, and share if you feel that someone else can benefit from this content. Also, comment below and let me know if this video resonated with you. Thank you and enjoy. Have you ever noticed repeating patterns in your life? Different people, different circumstances, yet the experience feels strangely familiar? Many people quietly notice this pattern as they move through adulthood. The situations change. New jobs, new relationships, new environments. But the emotional experience feels the same. Someone may notice they keep ending up with bosses who do not respect them. Another person may notice they repeatedly enter relationships where they feel unappreciated. The details change, but the story feels familiar. It can lead to questions many of us eventually ask ourselves. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep ending up in the same kinds of situations? These were questions I began asking myself several years ago. At the time, I had reached a point in life where, from the outside, things appeared successful. Career milestones had been achieved. Responsibilities had been fulfilled. Yet, internally, something felt incomplete. There was a quiet sense that something deeper was operating beneath the surface of everyday life. So I began searching. During that search, I encountered an old philosophical text called the Kybalion, which explores a set of principles often referred to as Hermetic philosophy. One idea in particular stood out to me. It is sometimes expressed with the phrase, "as within, so without." In simple terms, this idea suggests that our outer experiences may reflect something happening internally. Our beliefs, perceptions, and emotional patterns. At first, this idea sounded abstract. But the more I reflected on my own life, the more I began noticing patterns. Situations were repeating. Different people were involved, yet the emotional themes were often the same. Over time, I began to question something I had never considered before. What if these experiences were not random? What if they were reflections? Not punishment, not coincidence, but mirrors. I began noticing beliefs I had carried for years without realizing it. Beliefs such as, I must work harder than everyone else to be valued. I need to please people to be accepted. I am responsible for keeping everything together. These beliefs had quietly shaped many of my choices. They influenced the situations I entered, the relationships I accepted, and even the opportunities I pursued. Eventually, I realized something else. Many of these beliefs had formed very early in life. Research in fields like epigenetics and behavioral psychology suggests that the first several years of childhood play a powerful role in shaping how we interpret the world. In other words, many of our internal patterns form long before we are aware they exist. And once those patterns are established, we often begin living reactively rather than consciously. We respond automatically. We repeat familiar behaviors, even when those patterns do not serve us. Sometimes familiarity feels safe, even when it is not healthy. But something interesting begins to happen when awareness enters the picture. When we start noticing patterns rather than simply reacting to them, something shifts. Instead of asking, why does this keep happening to me? A different question appears. What might this pattern be showing me? That question changes everything. Because awareness is often the first step toward freedom. When we begin observing our beliefs, reactions, and perceptions, we start seeing how they influence our experience. And once we can see a pattern clearly, we are no longer completely controlled by it. The pattern becomes visible. And when something becomes visible, it can begin to change. This realization did not happen overnight. It emerged slowly through reflection, study, and experience. But once I began noticing these patterns, I could not ignore them anymore. It was as if I had been quietly holding up a mirror the entire time, and I had finally started looking into it. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if this content resonated with you, please comment what part of the video resonated with you. I read every comment and reply.